Okay, so next up, we're going to talk about Jadrian Clark's top 5 NFL quarterbacks. And we're going to do current quarterbacks. Yeah, we're not going to go into the past. We're going to do current quarterbacks, maybe if they've retired in the last 2 or 3 years, if you want to say Andrew Luck or something like that. But current quarterbacks. Let's start in no particular order. Who do you got, Jadrian?
I think my number 1 is very easy. It's Tom Brady. To say anyone else would be foolish. 2 and 3 to me, you can put in either order. I would probably say Aaron Rodgers is 2, Patrick Mahomes 3. I think those 3 are far and beyond anybody else in the league, just due to their ability to – Tom Brady, first of all, wins championships wherever he goes. Perfection is the word I would use at him. Throwing motion, reading a defense, just everything he does, he's just on point with. Aaron Rodgers and Mahomes are similar to me with their ability to make plays off schedule and off platform, roll around, make crazy throws, sidearm stuff, freak of natures when it comes to throwing the ball. I think 4 would be Russell Wilson. Again, I think he's a beast. Doesn't quite have some of the same physical gifts that Mahomes or Rodgers has, but obviously won a championship and a hell of a leader on his own right. So he's definitely there. 5th one, that's tough, man, to cap it at 5. I had to give you my 5th best right now, still playing currently. Trying to think. I don't want to leave anyone off the list. I think
someone could be left off.
I know, right? Somebody's got to get left off. Give you a younger guy. I think going into this next year, I'll take Josh Allen. I think he's going to have a hell of a year.
Oh, that's a good pick.
That's what I was thinking. He's not Mahomes, but I could kind of see Josh Allen on the similar Mahomes trajectory in terms of how he's been improving every year. And if he keeps going at this rate, then who knows, maybe he will be in the Super Bowl in 1 or 2 years. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm a Rams fan, so this is not coming from a place of hate, even though it may sound like it. Yeah, I love Stafford. But what I was going to say with Russell Wilson is that he's great. Don't get me wrong. I feel like the past couple of years, he always starts the seasons off like great, and then he just teeters down towards the end of the year. And he doesn't really get it done in the playoffs. I'm not saying he's not a top 5 quarterback. I'm just saying it's frustrating for someone who likes we all like to watch good football. So for someone who likes to watch good football and to see like, oh, wow, like people talk about MVP. And then it's like October or halfway through the season, it's like, all right, what happened to the Seahawks? Oh, they lost in the first round So it's hard to see. I want to see him put a full season together and, get on a run where he could go far in the playoffs. Obviously, we're not going against the Rams.
I don't want him doing that.
Yeah, but I think that's been the most frustrating thing, just watching Russell Wilson over the past couple of years.
I'm going to fight for Russell right now, just so you know. I'm going to fight for Russell because the list you made was awesome. I pretty much could agree with all of that. I feel like you have to give Tom Brady 1. Like, I feel like if he didn't win so much, you could move him down a little bit, but you just have to. And then those next 2 guys, Rodgers and Mahomes, And then Russell.
Real quick, before you go on, if Brady plays, I'm calling right now, if Brady plays like 5 more years, he's going to get the 10 rings. I don't care what anyone says.
I think it's possible.
Brady plays 5 more years, he's going to get the 10 rings. It's going to be fucking ridiculous just seeing that. But keep going, my bad.
The craziest part is if he plays for 5 years and gets 10 rings, as soon as he stops playing, Mahomes is going to start racking them up. And then we're going to be like, oh, can he reach Brady? Yeah. Like, I swear that's how it's going to happen. But the thing, jumping back to Russell Wilson is in a very similar situation to Aaron Rodgers when it comes to his team and what he can do. Now, Russell Wilson came in third round draft pick, stole a job to become a starter, and then on a team based on the run and good defense, won a championship. And then as they transitioned, they've basically become a team that relies heavily on him and his playing style and what he can do, and not necessarily the parts around him. And they're not necessarily giving him the support he needs, similar to what Rodgers has going on in Green Bay. But the difference between those 2 guys is Aaron Rodgers. Like, he built for this. Like, he, from day one, like, since he transferred and went to Cal, he was like, hey, I'm going to be the best thing smoking. I don't think Russell Wilson was built for that. I think that Russell Wilson is a great athlete. He's always going to be one of the top quarterbacks in the league. He studies and trains as hard as he can for his limitations, but he's not built to be in that situation. And that's where him and the Seahawks are always not reaching back to that moment of glory that they had before, because they're trying to do it with an entirely different scheme based on
Yeah.
what he can do for them. And his style of play makes it much harder for him to do that every year.
He also has defense, though.
But that's what I'm saying. Aaron Rodgers don't need defense. Aaron Rodgers will chuck that mother and get you in the game. Russell Wilson needs a defense. I'm just saying, don't put it down on him that, he's just not getting it done. In the playoffs, that's when defenses come alive. And that's when the teams that don't have defenses usually can't make it in the playoffs. Because that's when all the film study comes together for the entire year. Defense sit down there and say, okay, you got your toe to the left. I know the play. And you're done. And with Russell Wilson, he can make a lot happen by himself, but who else can help him? He doesn't have the Hail Mary greatness that Aaron Rodgers has. It's not in him. That's no fault of his own. That's no knock on him. But shit, what are you gonna do? But Matt Mahomes has the best quarterback situation in the league right now, and we all know that. So everybody else on that list has had to pretty much do it by themselves, except Tom Brady. He lucked into a good situation too, but he's a GOAT. But I think that's a good list, though. I really like the Josh Allen pick.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking the whole time. I was like, I feel like the upcoming QB of the flavor is Josh Allen.
How do you guys feel about Lamar Jackson?
I love Lamar. I think Lamar's a baller. I think he's just got to late in the year. I think he's not a great cold weather thrower. His ball starts to flutter a bit, and I think he struggles in the playoffs once defenses lock in and go all out to stop the run and really just force him to make perfect throws. I think he could elevate his game a little bit. Maybe he's going to be able to improve. He's still young. He's the next Mike Vick as far as his ability to make plays with his feet, and he can still throw. He doesn't get enough credit for his arm. But he's just going to have to lock in late in the year.
Okay, last quarterback, I want to ask about the NFL. I'm trying to think of, who do we leave off? I don't think we left off anybody. But what do you guys think about Trevor Lawrence feature with the Jaguars?
I think he's in the best of division where he could have success.
Urban Meyer's a winner everywhere he goes. To me, he's my favorite football coach. I think that they're going to be unbelievable with him.
I don't think Carson Wentz is all that great. Houston doesn't have a quarterback, and Ryan Tannehill has Derrick Henry. So I think if Jacksonville could put the pieces around Trevor, he's in the best division where he could have success early.
Oh, true. That's the AFC.
Maybe catching passes, throwing passes to Tebow too, right?
Yeah, exactly. But now, let's transition now to who are your top 5 quarterbacks, again, in no particular order, in Europe?
Sure, that's another good question.
Hold on, yourself not included. You can't.
The first guy that sticks out on the list. Can't put myself. I'm putting myself in there. I'm one of them. I won't rank them. We'll go top 5. I'm in there for sure. We'll go 5. Sean Shelton, to me, his career speaks for itself down there in Innsbruck. He's first one that comes to mind. A kid that I think is really, really good. Watched a couple of his games this year, new to Europe. I'm not going to pronounce his name right. I don't even think I know his name off the top of my head. The new quarterback for the Vienna Vikings. To me, he's really impressed me. I think he's a baller. Sorry, I don't know your name, man. It's escaping me right now. I like the guy that Leipzig signed. I guess he was the Japan League MVP. He's new to Europe. I think Michael Birdsong is his name. Watched some tape of him. I was impressed.
He played in Japan last year?
I think so. I don't know. Did they have a season last year with the COVID stuff? I don't know.
Yeah, I think Japan had a season last year.
I know that I saw he was the MVP out there, and that was a big signing for Leipzig. So I think he's a talented guy for sure headed into this next year. And then another guy that sticks out to me hasn't maybe gotten some of the recognition or opportunities as some of the other guys, but I think he's made the most of wherever he's been is Justin Saltaire. I think he's going to be with Munich Cowboys this year. Really, really talented guy. I've gotten the chance to throw with him before, and I think he does a good football, smart guy, student of the game. Kalanda's got a good quarterback. What is his name? I think his name is Clark.
No, you thinking of Clark Evans? Because he plays with the Null now. Kalanda has Connor Manning.
Okay, they got a new guy.
But you're thinking
Connor
of
was
Clark,
there.
or are you thinking of Connor?
Yeah.
You don't know which one, do you?
Me. I don't know. I saw a guy play for Kalanda, and I was really impressed with him. Obviously, Brandon Cannett, I thought he was really, really good. Played for Dresden, and then I think he played in Finland, and then for Braunschweig last year. Those are the guys that have really impressed me over here. There's some other guys that have put up some big stats, and they're talented quarterbacks as well. But for me, I think you got to be the complete package as far as you said, kind of when you introduced me, I think you got to be able to have a high completion percentage while pushing the ball down the field, not turn the ball over too much, and still produce and be a leader. So those are the guys that I've seen be able to do that over here over the last few years.
I'm trying to think. Jamal, you got any other guys you think that might be worth putting on the list? We might have to make a list.
The scoop top quarterbacks in Europe.
Yeah, I mean, we might have to make a list. I feel like he named about 6 or 7, so we're close to 10. And, when you got a top 10 list, you got to put it out there, right?
I got to look up my guy from Vienna. I feel bad I didn't know his name.
I'm looking at their roster, but I don't know which one is the quarterback. Like, I don't know what number he is. Do you know what number he is?
It's wearing number 3. Let's see.
Okay. Number 3? It says receiver here. Eder Fabian?
Number 3.
Ooh. Well, maybe I'm –
no, it should be an American guy.
Team. You know what? I might be looking on the wrong team. Hold on. They got multiple teams here. Sorry, guys.
Easton Saloon.
And he's playing for Vienna.
Playing for Vienna. They beat Swarco a couple of weeks ago. I watched that game. I was really impressed with how he played.
I think just thinking about, the guys that you mentioned, one of the guys I play with, Clark, obviously, it may be a biased opinion, but, he's definitely someone who has – when we talk about success, has been successful wherever he's been. But I think one of the OGs when we talk quarterbacks in Europe that we all have to think of is Shane. Shane was kind of the person who he's been with Swarco. He's been there for a while, but he's probably one of the most consistent things that's been a part of that program and the success that's come with that program. And again, whenever I think of quarterbacks or I think about imports in general that have played in Europe or are still in Europe, Shane's definitely one of the top guys that comes to my mind.
I mean, you're going back, man. I thought we were trying to stay, current. Shit, I like the Easton pick from Vienna. Like, that's futuristic. If he stays in Europe for a couple of years and becomes the 1, I'm gonna tell people, Jadrian Clark, he called it. Or if he becomes a 2, sorry, if he becomes a 2, Jadrian will stay the 1. A lot of the guys.
You say he's on.
He's on Vienna, Easton Salem. This is his first year in Europe, but he played in Japan, right? So if he decides to stay in Europe, get some notoriety out here and people start, knowing his name, I'm just going to be like, well, I'm glad Jadrian Clark told me about that guy because now I know somebody else. Everybody else on the list, Clark Evans, Sean Shelton, Justin Sotomayor, those are home names to me. I've been watching them for the last couple of years. But it's good to see some newer names. Like Jadrian, you're one of the newer names, if anything, compared to those 3 guys I just named have all been playing for over 6 or 7 years, while you're just now in year 4. And then this Easton guy might be in year 2 or 3. I'm not sure. So it'd be interesting to see some of these new names. Oh, yeah, Brandon Connet as well. And he had a 5 or 6 year career. I don't think he's playing out here anymore, but I think
he's done now.
Yeah, but I mean, he done enough. He just kept winning championships.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to go home.
Absolutely.
But I'm trying to think of guys that, have been here. I mean, I've heard a lot about Jacob Sullivan being a good quarterback. Not sure how that's going to play out futuristically wise. I don't know the future, but he's been one name that's popped up the last couple of years. We mentioned Connor Manning, and he's a decent quarterback as well. I don't want to say this guy's name wrong, but his name is like Luke something. I can't remember his last name. I think he was.
Luke Zaradka, man. How did I forget about my guy Luke?
That wasn't actually the Luke I was thinking of. But Luke. That's not the Luke I was thinking of. But Luke Zaradka too, who we've had on the show. But
he's another vet in the game.
Yeah, another vet. Shout out to Luke Z. I'm trying to think of younger, newer, guys, like guys we haven't necessarily heard of who might be on the scene. Everybody, I want to be one of them guys who said, hey, I told you about this guy. And then years later, everybody's like, yeah. Honestly, at this point, I feel like a lot of teams that have good quarterbacks have quarterbacks who have experience.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of really top-end teams going for like a guy who hasn't played well in the last 2 or 3 years or that we haven't seen his career. If that makes any sense.
No, it definitely does. And I feel like you've seen guys that have longer tenures over there stay longer, especially at the quarterback position.
I feel like there's some new age quarterback out there that's probably putting up numbers that we're just not talking about. I don't know why. But I do like that list. I think that was a really good list. And it also shows that you've actually seen a little bit of other guys playing. I know it's hard to be a master of your own craft and also be able to see what other people are doing. So if you have time to actually see it and they make an impression on you, that's very impressive by those quarterbacks as well. I don't even know if there are
definitely
too many. I don't know if there are too many quarterbacks out in Italy that would match with Luke, though. I can't believe we forgot Luke.
LZ7 is the king of Italy. Until someone else comes knocks him off the throne. So
yeah, that's how it's got to be.
His first team was Kirchdorf, so you got a little connection with it.
I actually know that too. And you're saying it the right way. Is Kirchdorf? I always say Kirchdorf. I don't know. I ain't never been out there. The Tom and Jerry team. You can't tell me that's not Jerry. You can't tell me that logo is not Jerry.
Middle of nowhere, tiny little village on the border of Austria, man. They're just doing the best they can out there.
All right, well, that's our top 5 NFL and top 5 year quarterbacks. All right, we're going to get to the outro. Have you checked out K Noah's ready-to-wear collection? It's K Noah's top-notch quality, but it's teamwear made custom for you and your team, so you can rep your squad now. All right, that's it for us today on The Scoop. Keeping the locker room talk real, as always. I just want to thank our guest, Jadrian Clark, for coming on today, man. It's really good to talk to you again and kick it and, talk football as we usually do, and also talk life here on the show. We really appreciate you coming on and doing this for us. You're a busy man, about to be in the ELF and become, too big for everybody. But we do appreciate you taking the time today. Just want to say to you, man, whatever you got going, just know that here on Scoop, we're going to support you, man. Whatever you're doing, I know you do a lot of the traveling. I know you've blogged at different times. So if there's anything like that you're doing that you need, a little support from, hit us up. We were talking about this before the show. I got a little bit into graphic design. You need a logo? I got you, man. It's no problem. But we just want to let you know that we support you and we appreciate you giving us this time. And we also want to make sure that you know that you have our support. All right?
Thank you, man. The feeling is mutual. I love what you guys are doing for the sport over here, and you guys are both really good dudes. It was a pleasure to talk to you guys.
Jamal, on you.
Well, most definitely, bro. I'm sorry it was a little delayed, but second everything that Pervis said, we appreciate the time. Any shout outs you want to give or talk about anything you got coming up before we head out?
June 20th, man. Big game. Hamburg versus Frankfurt to kick it off.
Already sold out.
On TV. It's going to be big. I'm excited.
All right, last thing I'm going to say before we get out of here. If you're on that cryptocurrency, keep doing your thing. And that's what everybody's doing, right? Cryptocurrency.
Dogecoin to the moon.
Yeah, there you go. Dogecoin to the moon. You see, you got to stay up with what's happening. All right. So thanks for watching the show. Thanks for watching it on YouTube or listening to it on the podcast channel. Be sure to subscribe to Athletes Forum on YouTube or to American Football in Finland on a podcast network. It's over 25 different outlets. Whatever podcast you listen to, you can get the scoop, okay? And you can get this every week on Wednesdays. Make sure you subscribe to either YouTube or podcast. And then also you can follow us on Twitter at The Scoop AF. We're building, a little Twitter following. Tweet at us, say something. Instagram, you can follow Athletes Forum. And on Facebook, you can also follow Athletes Forum because that's where the scoop will be promoted and that's where everything is held, okay? And by following all these channels, you'll have a chance to win teamwear swag provided by our sponsors at K Noah. So be sure to, follow directions in the bottom of the video on YouTube or in the description of the podcast. And you could be one of those lucky winners to win some free stuff. Everybody loves free stuff, right? So you
gotta love free stuff.
Yeah. All right. And that's it for us today. And we'll see you next time, guys.